Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We've got a very interesting show for you, so we're going to cover all of that news, and I do want to follow it up with a little bit of a fireside chat with HQ, talk about some of the things that have been happening recently in the zombies community, my opinions on it, and some ideas of where we should go from here. If you want to skip ahead or over a certain topic, I'm going to start timestamping these longer news videos down as the pinned comment of this video, so definitely check that out, or you can just keep listening as normal. That would be sick too. But that'll be later, so let's get right into our first story of the day. Okay, so a little bit of background if you don't know by now. A few days ago, an ex-Treyarch game tester went on Reddit, did an AMA, answered a whole bunch of questions about Black Ops 4 Easter eggs and behind-the-scenes development of Black Ops 4. We'll talk about the circumstances behind that post and the community's reaction to it later, like I said, but let's talk about the actual info we gleaned from it that I think you guys will find very interesting. So the first thing we're going to talk about is old perks being re-added to Black Ops 4 Zombies very soon. The leaker said this, quote, "In the next title update, that's title update 6, Speed Cola will return. It will be automatically equipped as a bonus in-game vapor or perk when the player has all 4 main vapors equipped. It can deactivate and reactivate." So he's saying that Speed Cola will return, but it won't be as its own perk machine. It will essentially be a bonus perk that you get when you have all 4 perks that you can get on the map active at the same time. So this seems to be another bonus on top of the perk modifier that you have for the 4th perk slot. You will also get Speed Cola when you have 4 perks. He said it can deactivate and reactivate. That obviously means if you go down and lose a perk, you will no longer have the benefit of Speed Cola. In terms of how the game itself is going to say to you, dude, you have Speed Cola right now, check it out. My best guess is it's going to be placed in the UI very similar to how the free perk is treated during the Viking Easter egg on the map 9. As you can see here, it'll probably be placed on that lower right hand side right beside your health bar. I can see that Speed Cola logo there already looking good. It's unknown why Treyarch decided to make this change. I mean, that means staying at 4 perks in Black Ops 4 Zombies in the future is going to be very important, with your 4th perk modifier staying active and getting free Speed Cola. I mean, that is just insane benefits for having 4 perks. A boost that lets you reload guns quicker was definitely needed within Black Ops 4 Zombies, and if this is the way Treyarch is going to implement it, I mean, hey, that's pretty interesting, I guess. We'll have to see how it balances out in game. Juggernog is also a perk that may or may not be returning. We actually got a little bit of background on why it was removed in the first place. I do want to do a dedicated video on this subject because it's that interesting, but the leaker said, quote, "There were issues with obtaining Jugg with Armour when it used the same bar as the health bar. That was fixed once they separated the bars." So he's talking about when you activate your specialist or you have the Stone Cold Stronghold perk, you'll usually see the armor bar appear above your health bar. This is basically just a couple bonus hits that you get when you activate your specialist. This seems to be a feature that was implemented late into the development of Black Ops 4 Zombies, and Treyarch just couldn't figure out a way to implement Jugg and Armour at the same time. But now the leaker is saying with Treyarch figuring that problem out, with making Armour and Health its own bars, that they have an avenue to easily add Jugg back into the game to make it like 2 extra hits to give you a total of 300 health with the perk or something like that. But there's definitely a deeper story to that we'll have to talk about more in depth later. It's really interesting and very weird. Shifting gears in the pool of this leaks, let's talk about future DLC content that was revealed by this guy. Now, we did a video yesterday discussing the leaked info about the DLC 1 Zombies map that was revealed. You can click the eye icon in the upper right or down in the description if you want to check that out after this video. I definitely recommend you do so. But there is more news regarding DLC that he revealed, and it has to do with the Aether storyline, with the leaker revealing that DLC 1 will be a Chaos storyline map. It has been rumored in the past, guys, that all the maps in the Black Ops Pass are going to be Chaos storyline. I didn't want to believe it. I personally thought that it would go 2 and 2, with 2 Chaos storyline maps and 2 Aether storyline maps, with Aether being DLC number 4, some big battle conclusion where Primus defeats Dr. Monty. And it seems like the Aether is confirming that there'll be more Aether storyline maps beyond Nuketown, which we know is in development, that will be a part of the Black Ops Pass, where he said this, quote, "It is planned to have more maps that will follow the Aether storyline, but we haven't started testing them yet." Of course, that means that the Aether storyline maps will be later in development. It's possible that Nuketown Zombies will be DLC 2 as part of the Black Ops Pass. I personally hope not. I personally hope that that's like either a bonus or it comes out for free or something like that, and we get something totally original as an Aether map for DLC number 2. But it's definitely heartening to know that they're still producing Aether content. Thank the Lord. I also did a video a couple days ago talking about the prospect of an 8-player zombies map in the future within Black Ops 4. Well, the leaker said that that is in fact in development, that it may very well be coming. He phrased it as a competitive 8-player map that's 4 versus 4 rather than 8 players cooperative, but he also added the caveat that this is in development. It of course could be cancelled, and in terms of the reasons why it would be cancelled, beyond the high likelihood of it blue screening, he said this: it's because that many people, he means 8 people, on the zombies maps causes significant FPS drops. So it seems like if the 8-player zombies map doesn't happen, it's because of hardware restrictions of the classic PS4s and Xbox Ones, rather than any kind of in-game limitations, that having that many people will cause FPS drops on the game consoles that would be unacceptable to Call of Duty's standard of 60 frames per second. So that's kind of unfortunate to know that Treyarch is being held back a little bit by the current restrictions of the current generation of game consoles, and hey, maybe the rumored next-gen consoles that'll come out in a few years will solve that problem. With that sad story out of the way, it kind of transitions perfectly into another sad story, and that is the current state of the zombies community and the circumstances around these leaks being posted to begin with. Now, before we dig into the depths of this topic, guys, I think it's very, very important to realize that at the crux of this issue, what we're dealing with is a labor dispute that we have only one side of. If you weren't aware, the reason these leaks were posted to begin with is that the leaker felt he was kind of backstabbed or wrongfully terminated by Treyarch after going on his lunch break, while management moved the time of that break to a different time, making it seem like he's playing hooky when he was under the impression that he was just going on break. When he returned, they immediately fired him. That's the story we got. That's the story the community has chosen to believe. We don't know what is the truth yet. We haven't had Treyarch's side of the story, and I guarantee you Treyarch will not comment on this story, as it is a labor dispute. That doesn't mean we can't be sympathetic to the leaker's plight. This guy just got fired from a job that he obviously loved. And more so than that, if we're to believe him that he was the top bug reporting QA tester at Treyarch, he got fired from a job that he was very good at. A job in QA that is needed now more than ever in Black Ops 4 Zombies, with the game in its current state. If there was mistreatment of employees at Treyarch and this guy was indeed wrongfully terminated, I leave it to Treyarch and Activision's HR departments to figure out exactly what went down and how that situation can be improved and remedied. Although I will say the manner in which this guy responded by leaking everything, while super interesting and gives us something to talk about, is, well, he's on the line of legality here, and the reason you can't find his posts anymore was that Activision was threatening legal action, which, well, we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do here. I mean, it's definitely walking a thin line if you did in fact sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement about the content he was working on, which he did, and then went ahead and broke that NDA when he was fired. That's not how NDAs work. But again, that doesn't mean I'm not sympathetic to his situation and to the situation of all of the QA testers at Treyarch, which operate in a position that is known to be kind of pretty low quality of work, that have very long, monotonous hours doing very specific tasks, but are vital, absolutely vital to the development and success of Black Ops 4 Zombies. They are the underappreciated heroes that help make Black Ops 4 Zombies stable in the long run when we need as many of them working for Treyarch, being happy and content in their positions in order to make sure that job gets done right, and that we see a better, stable final product. But I said I would talk about the community's reaction to this, and I will now. It seems to me there's a little bit of outrage culture going on right now in the Zombies community. I've seen it in general in the gaming community kind of really spike up in the last 2 or 3 years, where there's this outrage culture about negative aspects of gaming that just get piled on by specific communities and roll until they exceed what the actual negative action was about in the first place. Now, that negative outrage and reaction can bring about some positive change in the long run, but please remember, don't be negative for negative's sake. It's both hip and popular to be mad at Black Ops 4, to be mad at Treyarch right now. I'd encourage you guys just to think for yourselves and realize, why am I mad at them, and articulate that critique in a respectful manner. Sure, there's things that are wrong with Black Ops 4 Zombies right now, and wrong perhaps in some internal aspects of Treyarch, but hate mongering against the developers of the game, which I've seen on Twitter and Reddit, of saying we should totally boycott Zombies and you're an Activision shill if you enjoy and post the mode, that is just insane. I've never seen it get to this point in the Zombies community before, from 3.5 years of covering the mode and just about 10 years of playing this. I started Nacht-der-Untoten a month after World at War released, when my best friend invited me over to play some Zombies at his house, and we got to round 9 or 10 the first few times and thought that was an achievement. But to wrap up my thoughts on the whole issue, outrage is bad when it's being done just for outrage's sake, but remember why you're criticizing something, and if you're doing that in a respectful manner, then that is the best way to bring about change in the future, to fix that thing that you're criticizing to begin with. Beyond that, there's a lot of reasons to be excited about Black Ops 4 Zombies, and the amount of content and attention the mode has been getting is higher than ever before, though we're saying Treyarch, it should be even higher still. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this video, and truly thank you in general for the support on the channel. I've basically taken hiatuses from posting on this channel when I'm just not interested in the current zombie season. That has come and gone in the last 2 years, but Treyarch and Black Ops 4 has invigorated my passion for this mode. As you've seen, I'm posting more than ever just because there's things to talk about, things that I'm generally interested in talking about. Now maybe more than ever in the history of posting on this channel. But regardless of that, I owe it to you guys that continue to tune into the channel. If you've made it to this far in the video, you guys are absolutely awesome. I genuinely thank you so much for watching. Y'all mean so much to me, and I hope you continue with me on this journey as we cover the news from the game and community every single day here on COD Zombies HQ. I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with another news video tomorrow. Peace.